So as we take a look at our charts now, we can see that we're kind of on the higher end of the range. Now, yesterday, what we did is we closed right about over here. And so you always want to make sure you can identify on your chart where you closed. So we closed yesterday at 499.72. And if we take that up 499.72 thereabouts, you can see that we're actually opening up a little lower, right? So just a tad bit lower. We're at 498.87, so approximately $1. So that's not a very big range as far as maybe looking at a gap, right? That's a very small gap. So then if we take a look at our cues, we can see that we closed, let's see here, we closed at 423.42 and actually 423.22. So we're actually about a buck 80 below on the cues. So the cue's a little weaker than SPY, we have a small gap up on both. Okay, so a little farther down. Surprised that it's not even worse based on the international conflict that we have right now. But we'll see how this works out if this is some sort of trap or what's happening. Um, all right, so now that we kind of have our trading range identified, typically just go to one of our channels in our Discord that says pre-market, and that just kind of gives you the flavor of the morning, just to kind of see what people are talking about overnight, because every single night they're going to give us a little flavor of news. And I just call it a narrative. I'm not really stuck on the news. I used to have the news on while I traded, and I found that it was extremely distracting for me to identify price action. So now I just kind of get a sense of what's happening overnight, and then I don't really pay attention to that. So let's see what this says. Bitcoin bounces back as futures fall. Futures are trading higher. Now, remember, this came out at uh, 8:16, right? So things have changed in that hour. Futures are trading higher amid heightened risk, aversion targeted by escalating Middle Eastern tensions with Wall Street fear gauge. The CBOE volatility index rising to its highest level in over 5 months. Meanwhile, a disappointing Q2 earnings forecast from Netflix has gotten the big tech earnings session started. Let's see here. Big tech earnings session started on a cautious note. Now, this is interesting because as earnings come out, it will start to provide feedback for other types of earnings. And so if Netflix is down, you'll start to see other tech also kind of follow suit. So just pay attention to that, just based off your own experiences. Forecast from Netflix has gotten the big tech earnings season started on a cautious note. Broader stock market indexes like S&P 500 and NASDAQ are looking to extend their losing streak, influenced by Federal Reserve signals of steady interest rates due to persistent inflation and a resilient U.S. economy. This week's developments had led to a reevaluation of expected rate cuts by the Fed, contributing to the bearish outlook on equities. Friday's economic calendar is light, that's nice, on major releases, though Fed Goolsbee is scheduled to speak later in the day. Pre-market earning reports from Procter & Gamble and American Express are also on watch. Despite the general weakness in the market, crypto-related stocks are rebounding pre-market ahead of Bitcoin halving. That's halving, basically. So 10:30, we got a little bit of news. All righty. So let's take a look and see how we're doing. So the first thing right off the bat, I'm noticing that we're not trending. So that's odd. So let's see within the first 15 minutes if we can get trending. We should be trending right out of the gate, right, guys? Should be. So ADX over 25 is typically an oscillator, right? It's an oscillator that you could put down on your lower studies, and you can find it on ThinkorSwim, and I'm sure you can find ADX as well on TradingView. What we did is created a label just to save some real estate on your chart. And what ends up happening is when ADX is below 25, then you're not trending. So if you're a trader that's looking for indicators that could help you stay out of a choppy environment, this is a good one to use, is the trending, this trending label, ADX over 25. So ADX over 25, we are trending. Anything under 25, we are not. And it's not about either trending high or low. It's just about enough people at the concert to participate in this action. So as of right now, there's, you know, isn't that peculiar that ADX is not even over 25 in SPY when we're right out of the gate in the morning. And the first 90 minutes is our best time to do some intraday trades. And what we typically do here is every morning we get together, we go over these things so they become a repetitive system for you. You need to have repeat actions over and over and over again for it to be solidified in your brain so that you do it without even thinking about it. And when that happens, then you can start really identifying certain patterns on your charts. And this all then comes into focus very easily. So in that event, we basically wait for we have some expert traders, professional traders that are in our Discord. When they end up posting trades for intraday trading, we end up then reviewing that chart, identifying what they are seeing. And then I give you my take as a conservative trader. And this basically helps you create your own type of technical analysis as well. And then you can also then witness that you don't have to be rushing into trades. You can actually do your own due diligence. You can review the trade and you can pop in that trade when you see fit. And we do that quite often here. We don't just rush in. The other thing we do is we keep our charts on a 5 minute. The reason is that we want a good ride. This is all about uh, taking opportunities and making sure that they're A+ setups. So you have more likelihood to have better technical analysis on a 5 minute chart than you do on a 1 minute or a 3 minute. Now, when you get into a trade, can you then view all those time frames? Absolutely. But really, we're looking for a good 5 minute ride, right? Because if you have one good 5 minute candle and then the next candle's a continuation, then you have a good 10 minute ride versus this minute in and out, in and out. So the other thing that we'd like to look at is the ticks. So the ticks is great to give you this kind of this sense of what the market's doing. Is it positive? Is it negative? It kind of gives you the breadth of the market, and then you can see that real time. So the outlier is a 1,000 tick. So when you see a positive 1,000 tick or you see negative 1,000 tick, this should give you like a wake up call, a slap across the face, like wake up, let's start looking at this. Now, if it just goes to 1,000 and comes right back down to 600 or 500, you really need that tick value to stay consistent, um, for a minute or two to really give you a heads up that, hey, wait a minute, something's happening. And this could be an opportunity for me. And how should I react to that opportunity? So it's not until you actually watch your charts every morning to see the tick label react with your chart, then you can identify, when these levels are. So to make it quick for you, for quick training for you, anything about like 550 really can make the candles move in a direction. If there's no real buying or selling in the market, typically you'll see uh, price tend to rise, actually, tend to stay stable. Now, this morning, as you'll notice, is that we have red. Look at SPY. not trending. Is this choppy or what? And then Qs are trending and it's actually like going at least somewhere. Um, and the other interesting thing as we look at confluence on the chart is what's confluence? It's like evidence, right? Like how much evidence can you have that this makes sense to you? And so when you look at the tick label and you have a positive tick label in the stock market, but you have red candles coming down, that should be like, something to make you go, that's interesting, right? And what we really want is SPY and the QQQ to act together in unison. So if the Qs are going down, SPY should be going down. If SPY is going down, the Q should be going down. They shouldn't be opposite of one another. And the reason is because that creates a lot of chop for you because it's like playing tug of war in the market. You really want the market to go in one direction. Now we look at SPY and the QQQ because it's important to see uh, the movers and the shakers in the market. And also, these two basket basically ETFs have a lot of important mega cap stocks that most people want to trade. So that's important as well. And then once you get a handle on this, then you can identify, as an example, if you're looking at your watch list this morning and you only have S&P on there, uh, this is an indication of, meh, you may want to now look at your watch list that has a basket of stocks of the Qs because the Qs are moving and SPY is not. So then you can take your favorite stock from this basket, stick it on this chart, and then identify a trade with that. So with that, it looks like that's roughly what we do. We're going to be waiting for some trades to come on board. If you have any questions, please ask. That's what we do here, 2 hours in the morning. Every morning, you get to ask all sorts of questions, and we go over things as we're waiting for price action to get on our side so we can start making some trades. So we this is the 20 EMA on my chart. Now this is what I chose after years of trading. So you get to choose whatever you want on your chart to help you identify price action. So this is just a simple 20 EMA and I use it on all time frames. So right now we have a continuation to the downside on the Qs. You could see that our indicator identified actually when it broke the 20 that we had a put trade at 422. And we're continuing to follow that trend. And where are we going now? So we're going down here, which is the pre-market low, because that's our trading range. So typically speaking, when you're in a trading range, you are buying calls at support and you're buying puts at resistance. And then your reversion to the mean is the EMA that you have on your chart, whether it be VWAP or you might have a cloud or you might have something there that you like, right? Because trading is subjective and whatever's on your chart needs to resonate with you in order for you to be able to watch it every day and to identify patterns and price action. All righty, I got all that out. And no trades on the board for our traders just yet. Our futures guy is typically not on Fridays, just FYI. Maybe because of the conflict in the Middle East, maybe he'll jump on thinking that there may be a opportunity today. So we'll see what happens. We have a 0 DTE credit spread that we put on every day. And if you go into our trade log channel, you can take a look at our trade logs that we keep for our trades. And so we primarily do our daily credit spread based on backtesting. So we've been backtesting a formula for a year now since development and since our last formula change, doing pretty good. I think it's at 89% right now. since I think January 11th was our last formula change based on the back testing analysis and algos. So we don't look at a chart. We don't look at price action. A lot of people get upset. It's like, hey, wait a minute, the market's going down and you're taking this opposite trade. Um, we used Gamma and Jex a lot in our Discord, and we utilize the credit spread with our Gamma levels and our back testing for the best time to take the trade, as well as uh, what take profit is the best that's being given to us by the analysis, as well as the stop loss. Sometimes it's 200%, sometimes it's 300%. So this week, our trades have been coming out at 10:10 in the morning. So 10:10, we'll have a credit spread trade. And we are at a 200% stop loss. And your take profit is between 5 and 10 cents. So those are our parameters for this week as the week is ending. All right. All that out of the way. Good morning, everybody. Look at you, all up and at 'em. Everybody's ready to rock and roll. I like it. Let me see if we have any questions really quick. Good morning, AZ Hercules. Amar, good morning. Brouhaha. What a crazy overnight sell-off. Yes. Um, but really the market didn't react very crazily. Did you think? Had some action in the ES there for a little bit. Didn't you have an earnings trade? You got a butterfly on the low end and high end of Netflix, don't you, Brouhaha? How'd that go? I think your Netflix was like 50 bucks down or something. Okay, so it looks like our day traders got some day trades on the board. I'll say hello again a little later, but let's get some trades on. So he's picking NVIDIA and SMCI. So the first thing I want to identify is that he's not even picking any trades from the S&P. He's picking them from the basket of the Qs. So I like that. So let's look at NVIDIA. Oh, look at that. I don't have to make all the lines. I get to get rid of all my manual lines. Says indicators are no good. Oh my gosh, I love indicators. Crazy about indicators. All right. So he's looking for a NVIDIA 820 put. Okay. A NVIDIA 820 put. And I kind of like the put action because it's below my mean, right? So the only thing right now that I'm looking at is we have momentum that's ready to crest over the zero line. Oh, he's getting out of the NVIDIA. Well, forget it. Stop loss hit, he said, and no new low. Okay. So he was looking for a lower low than this area and didn't get it. He got into this candle and didn't get it, I think. So let me tell you about this trade and how I look at it. So it's important to have a momentum oscillator on your chart. And the reason is because momentum drives price. So momentum drives price. So once you get that, you can see why it's important to have that type of oscillator. The other thing too is that you can see that originally, as we opened, momentum was driving higher, even though price was really, even though they're nice large candles, really going sideways there for a period. Now, if momentum crosses the zero line here, okay, then momentum then is turning positive, and we're right at the 20, which is my favorite reversion to the mean. And if we break the 20, because 20 is resistance, if we break it and go above it, not on top of it like this, but actually above it. Then what you have is a kind of a trend change. So for those of you that use Fibonacci's, you typically have been trained that, okay, so, price will revert about 50%, but if it gets to the 61.8, then that's a trend change. So for me, it's easier for me to like look at my mean and just say, okay, if we have a 5-minute candle that clears that 20, then we do have a trend change. So anything above the 20 is bullish, everything below it is bearish. So I typically do not take puts uh, when momentum is above basically the zero line and we're flirting with breaking the 20 here. But you could see that our oscillator, which identified, excuse me, I say oscillator, but this is a momentum-based indicator, this bullseye that we created. It is momentum-based. So with that in mind, the best setups is when, as an example, if we break the 20 and it's now support. So we need a clear candle above the 20 and we're just breaking above the zero. It's one of my favorite setups because now you have a support and resistance play if it's sitting on top of, right? And then you also have momentum in its favor. Now, how can this turn around to be the opposite trade? Well, we're still at a decision point here. If we stay below the 20 and momentum starts to curve around, like this is a wave, right? That's why we call this the wave. So if this all of a sudden starts to turn around and start to head down, and we've just tagged the 20 and we're starting to go below it, that's a great put trade. And look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Oh, it's an A plus setup right here for a continuation of a put if momentum can stay. Now, remember, no one's in a hurry here. So now that we're kind of seeing this possibly take place, could you use our indicator as a tool to get into that trade? And the answer is yes. So you can wait and say, okay, well, if it breaks 831.38, I'm in. It already hit its stop loss to begin with. So we're looking for a new trade here. So this trade still can be good. And it looks like it's going to be. So actually, his put trade was just a matter of timing. So can you take an alert that someone gives you, and then you do your own analysis, and then pick a better spot to get in? And the answer, of course, is yes. Now, the vehicle that you use is something to take into consideration too. If you're not comfortable, forking out $250 for one contract on a put, you can get a put debit spread, which would be oh so perfect for this kind of uh, price action because we are consolidating here a bit and we don't have a ton of movement in the market. You can see that this is like consolidation. We're actually waiting for a break here, either above this level or below this level. And look at where our keep saying oscillator. I don't know why I do that. You can see where our put trade is located, like literally, like where the orb is, right? Opening range breakout. And then, of course, SMCI is also affiliated with the Qs. And you can see that he's dollar cost averaging because his entry wasn't pristine, right? It didn't do exactly what he thought it was going to do. So now he's dollar cost averaging. And I like this a lot. So we got the entry for super microcomputer. We're already at the third target here. We got momentum that never peaked above the zero. And it looks actually pretty nice. And he's already trimming. So he had to dollar cost average. And then he's right sizing. He's getting some of his original losses out of that with either break even or profit. And look at how the Qs are reacting as well, right? So he picked stocks that were directly connected to the cues because the cues were moving and SPY was not. And you can see that momentum on the ETF is also lower. That's going to give you more evidence that the stock that you picked is also going down. Let me remove this right here because we finally have an indicator. Where is the? Oh, I see it. You could see the high right there. Couldn't see it there before. Okay, so there's the high and the low. It broke the low, and breaking the pre-market low, by the way, is also confirmation that we're trending down and that it's also a strategy right from the get-go to get into a put trade. And this is really nice. The only thing I don't like is the price action, like it's so slow. Hmm. So those are those two trades uh, that we get to analyze. Now, right over here, you can see that the cues are coming down to a double bottom, right? So we opened up, we made a low for today. We actually made a higher high from the open. And then now we're coming down to see if we do a double bottom and bounce, or if we break this bottom, and that would be a continuation for a lower low, and then that would mean that that's continuation trade. And we're breaking it right now, but you always have to make your decisions after the 5 minute candle. It really does help. And the reason is because all these levels that are considered support and resistance, like the low of the day is considered support, is because that there's a lot of fake outs in these zones. And so if you've ever thought, oh, it's breaking the pre-market low, I'm going to get in right now. And then you get in and what does it do? It immediately reverses. So because of that, if you put your chart on a 5 minute, you can actually see the price action much better than on a minute. You can make your decisions for price action so much cleaner on a 5 minute versus a smaller time frame. And you can see the wick, this long wick right here. The bears wanted to bring it down, and all of a sudden the audience dissipates, comes right back up. The bulls say, nope, we're not going to go down. This may still end up going down, but as of right now, the audience is higher than this little area right here. And you could see that it's not like exact. Like it made a lower low with a wick and then went the opposite direction. Oh, boy, I'm talking so much. Let me see your questions. I'm going to take a little breather. Okay. Good morning. All right. YJ, yes, TGIF. Are you King? Good morning. Jeb. Jeb, the tick meter that you had suggested, we are can you get that available for you guys? Good morning. Is anyone talking yet? Yeah. Uh, yes, I've been talking of a storm bandit. Where you been? Are you kidding? Easy Hercules, did we lose the audio? Uh-oh. Easy Hercules. Really? Oh, good. Are you Kane? I had a Weeble. One of my settings must have unchecked accidentally. Okay, guys, so you guys can hear 40 points last night, then rebounded. Yes. Oh, great, Bandit, because I've been talking up a storm. You're going to tell me to shut up soon. I closed right at the open and made money on the low side. Good job, Brouhaha, not getting greedy. If I waited a little longer, there was more money to be made. Don't say that. Just just be happy with the money you make. You're learning, you're learning about yourself each and every trade that you do, and uh, all that experience is going to help. Positive after the overnight move. I didn't want to wait. Yeah, Exactly. I wouldn't have want to either, by the way, brouhaha. I think it was a great move that you did. More often than not, that is the better move, as we've seen during price action in the morning, right? I noticed I tracked from yesterday the JEX by open interest value was very high in the negative, and value didn't go low by time. Even JEX by volume was increasing positively and pushing the market high. However, by midday, we hit an aggressive reversal. Yeah, and I think the fact that you're starting to open up your eyes to the JEX by OI and you're starting to analyze it, you'll start to see patterns and trends, and it will help you forecast beforehand, actually what's happening. You're welcome, Jeb. Anytime. Easy Hercules. Yeah, excellent. I'm glad. Loud and clear. Audio works. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, good. And I didn't do anything with that, so I'm so glad that that's working. See what we got on board. Not too much coming out of our yeah, guys, there are a lot of people here this morning. Sometimes in Discord, when we have a lot of people, the screen gets distorted or audio gets distorted. You just type me and let me know, and I'll refresh. So, any questions about what we just went over this morning? And look at how price action. We have a nice, look at this. We have a nice amount of ticks here, and we are just moving lower. Oh, this is interesting. So, super microcomputers got a red candle, and look at the ETF here. Let's see what happens. This actually looks more consistent, right? With this, right? It looks consistent. Like, okay, we got a green candle, we have 700 ticks. This is awfully small, I have to tell you. So what we're looking for is the higher tick amount you see in the NYC, you should NYSE, you should start seeing candles that kind of represent stuff like that. And so here we have a nice fat candle, we got a big long candle. That's what we want to see. When you see a lot of wicks like this, a lot of indecisions happening, a lot of fighting. When you see a little tiny baby candle that is barely across or is just small in its body, like these guys, right? Ugh, you know, that should be like a big flag in your face. Like, do not intraday trade. Do not do it. It's just going to chop you up. That's what those big wicks mean is a lot of indecision, a lot of fighting within those candles. So we're really looking for high tick value, uh, price going in that direction of the tick value, and then also checking momentum to make sure that momentum is in the direction of everything else. And so, boy, a super microcomputer really going down, but slow and steady, right? Slow and steady. We call kind of like slow and steady moves like this. We, especially with the opposite tick value here, we often call this like controlled selling, right? It's going down, but it's like really slow. And the Q's actually is maintaining consolidation here, consolidation under the 20, which is still bearish, but it's kind of going sideways in, you know, from the opening high low thus far. It's staying within its range right here. All right, going to take a quick breather. I'll be right back. Okay, he's trimming again. This is his second trim. I do want to tell you that with price action this slow, if you don't like that type of action, you can use a debit spread or a credit spread. I mean, it's slow, but it's still going, and just be cognizant that you're using basically lotto expiration, right? Everything expires today. So if you're getting this type of price action, it's just going to eat up your premium, your contract. It's going to take you, you have to go much higher for it to be profitable. He's closing his UPS. No dice, he says. Guess it was a lotto trade. All right. CMCI or yeah, CMCI doing really well. Nice call out by Profit. Already on its fifth target here. Q's still going sideways. Anybody take this trade? Anybody take any trades this morning? Not yet. Yeah, me neither. So, brouhaha, I'm glad that you say you're happy. And I come across a lot of traders that often say things like, "Oh God, if I would have done this and I would have done that." And it's like, we're here every day and you're gonna trade that stock 10, 20 times this month as an example. It's just like, instead of doing that, you make a mental note. Hopefully you're like recording in your journal. And if you record enough trades in your journal, you'll start to see patterns within yourself that you can identify. And then you can actually start working on if you feel that it's a negative. And so this is what's so important because people think like, okay, you learn how to trade. It took me an entire year. By the way, I was in a formal education for learning options and all the strategies. And so, if you're coming out here to use your own capital. And so what ends up happening is, people learn a couple things and then they jump right into it. And it's really not the way to do it because you're trading real money, it's your capital, and you're really looking at this to supplement your income or to create an income for you. And you're not giving yourself a lot of practice time. And it's just really important, uh, you know. Tiger Woods, great example. Like, to be a pro golfer, look at how much practicing he did. I mean, to become really good at what you do, whether it be your profession or your hobby, like you gotta practice. And you shouldn't be practicing with real money. You should be practicing on a simulation account. And then eventually, as you start to identify your pros and your cons within your own trading behavior, then you're able to start to work on that and capitalize on your pros and start diminishing your cons. And then you become better and better. So, and I hope that automation is somewhere in the mix here because if you're a new trader, if you learn automation up front, you're going to be light years ahead of any new trader not knowing anything about automation. So I automate like 80% of my trades are automated. Even my scalps and these short intraday trades are typically automated as well. So just something to think about if you're interested. And of course, we teach that here. Brouhaha, I totally hear you. It helps when I look now. And the butterfly I sold for 750 is now quoting 680. I set a good till cancel order on both sides to take a net 25% profit. So the whole thing was automatic. Oh, look at you. Oh, I just feel so giddy and happy about that. Like seriously, because when you start, oops, it says your screen share is paused. Is that true, guys? Can you see my screen? Let me make sure you got it on. Yep. Okay. Um, so yeah, that makes me so happy because I think those types of moments when it happens and it works is like such an aha moment, isn't it? It's just like, it's like a new world just, you know, happened. The story is I'm on Pacific coast. I live in Southern California near San Diego. And what ended up happening is I just hated to wake up early in the morning. We got to wake up super early to get set up and get awake and start reviewing overnight action and all that. And I said, I stay up really late to do my homework on my trades. I should just learn how to automate this and see if I can sleep in. Believe it or not, I mean, it took me several months to really kind of get what I was supposed to be doing on automation for ThinkorSwim and put in my first trade and woke up late the next day, not even like really thinking about it because I had stayed up really late to put in that trade to double check it 25 times. And then I wake up, it was a trade on Lululemon. I wake up and had over $800 in profit, and I only took one trade because I was so nervous about the automation. And I was like, oh my God, like that was just like, you know, that was like, oh gosh, I better like really start learning this. And that was it. I just dove right into it, start using it for scalping and intraday trading, and never looked back since. So I certainly hope you guys, if you take anything away from TMS Discord, is automation is key. Thank you. Zero DTE is about to come out. I always forget. Let's take a look at what we might be looking at. So, well, could you imagine where gamma is? That's interesting. So it just flipped from negative to positive just now. So because really good credits coming out for credit spreads right now, and that's because whenever there is zero gamma and where price is now, whenever it's vacillating, it's very close to it and it's touching it, and it's up above it just a little bit and below it a little bit. That's when you get the best credits. So it's when it's far away, when price is far away from zero gamma is when you get the low credits. So the fact that we're getting some pretty decent credits right now means that, we're just kind of vacillating. Now, for the last Jex bot, oops, what did I just do? Let me get it. He keeps trimming his MCI. I mean, this thing, he didn't even have to take a debit spread. Even with this motion, he is raking in the bucks on this. I'm sorry, I did not take it. Sincerely. Jeez. So right now we're looking at a 50-50 call and a 50-55 call for 62 cents on the credit spread is what we're looking at like right now. That is the trade 50-50, selling a 50-50, buying the 50-55 call for 60. 5 cents thereabouts. And the text just came out. That was a little slow today. I was behind about a minute. All righty. So let me take a picture of that so I can post it in the Discord. You see how slow I am? I'm slow like this every day, and I'm still able to get into trades without any issues. So don't stress out. It's just me being slow as usual. Oh, there you go. My toss is really slow because I got the zoom on. All righty. Sorry for that delay. Our SPX day trader, he does SPX and day trades. Looking at, looks like he got into the Qs 419p. Sorry about the delay. He's already trimming right now. So it looks like the market is definitely heading lower. Good for the credit spread. All right, finally a little bounce after 9 targets being hit. This is calculated on average true range. If you don't know about that, you can Google it just like ADX. Average true range is basically it's a it's computed based on the range that it's trading in, and then gives you profit targets. So this is just with average true range of 1, but you can increase that if you wanted to, so that you don't have as many targets here. You can customize it to do 1.5 or 2 or 3, depending on how long of a leash you want to give it. We have some positive ticks coming into the market. We have a little bounce here. Looks like this is kind of, as we're approaching the pre-market low for the Qs, that's giving SMCI a little bounce as well. I'm going to put this back on SPY. Do you like to keep? Ooh, SPY's got a really, I mean, we could $3 more. We're underneath the 20 finally, and we're still not trending in SPY. Look at the Qs comparably to SPY here. So different looking, right? Netflix really setting the tone for the Qs. See if you guys have any questions. Mark went up to 60 in TOS, but won't fill my order for credit spread. I'm not going to be able to fill at 65. It was a fast drop. My slow self did not get a fill either. Um, you know what? In the morning, if always, if somebody can remind me right before it comes out, then I can give you the strikes. You could have it ready to rock and roll. I got filled at 60. Great, YJ. Money, is there some info that I can read about the trading system? What trading system is that, Money? You talking about the zero DTE credit spread? Are you still there? Oh, good. No, on the screen. Oh, you mean the indicator? The indicators, we have a indicator channel in the welcome area, and we have videos on basically the wave and the bullseye, and you can take a look at that. We also have a 7-day free trial, guys. If you like that indicator, we have a 7-day free trial that you can look at. In the events section is not only a video for TradingView, but also in the events section, which is top left of that column in Discord, you could also see you could see the WAP address so that you could get the 7-day free trial. Um, Bandit, do the zero DTE trades typically trigger early in the morning? So it's between 10 and 11 is been our times for our advanced algo analysis. Thus far, it's been between 10 and 11, and each week it changes. So that's why I give you the trade on Friday, because by Monday, all the parameters change. The time changes every week. I'm using the trial now, and the indicators are amazing. Really, future Millie, thank you so much for that. I actually created those indicators while I was Zooming with students to help them identify price action, as well as like stop losses and targets. Sometimes for some people, they catch on very quickly to create targets either by Fibonacci or, whatever you like using, um, or we use average true range. Oh, Bandit, anytime, anytime. If you guys don't know, I do have a YouTube channel that you can check out in the free section. There's the address there. And if this is your beginning of your journey, a lot of great public videos that you can check out. We also have a trade academy for our members, and it's a huge separate server that has not only toss indicators and some trading view indicators, but also has a lot of private webinars going in depth about strategies, different indicators, um, price action, candle patterns, you name it. Oh, thank you, Amar. I'm on this 7-day trial. Can I add this to my trading view? Yes. Regardless if you're, a member or not, you can get that free trading view trial. Absolutely. Just make sure you cancel before it charges your card. If you don't want to. On TradingView, you can lease the indicator or you can purchase it outright. And for ThinkorSwim, I'm going to get that up this weekend. You'll only be able to purchase it, not lease it. We might be having a big sale. If you're interested, let me know. I'll get you the promo. I keep saying we're going to have a big sale once the ThinkorSwim indicators, the update. The trading view indicators are completely updated. The ThinkorSwim ones need the latest update. So we're doing that right now. And oh, Future Millie, okay. Send me a DM if you would, so that'll remind me to send you the promo code. TradingView also offers Black Friday sale at big discount. So, Jeb, this is not like a public TradingView um, sale, so it has nothing to do with the ThinkorSwim indicators. Oh, you mean for the yearly subscription, right? Yeah, I always take their big sales. Yes, yes. There's like a 50, I think during Christmas there's a 60. I try to take those big ones and just add the years. Exactly. I do the same thing. Perfect. Thank you, Future Millie. I'll get that over to you this afternoon. And then, so yeah, the indicators are great. And by the way, there are some free trading view indicators. What I tried to do was find some trading view indicators that reminded me of my TOSA indicators that are unique that I use and share with the community. And, like trend pivot, the support and resistance, Darvis, those are some of my favorites. And so those are listed in the Trade Academy as well. All righty. See if you have any more questions. Looks like we're just interesting how there we go. SPY finally kind of showing some weakness here. Geez. But not, you know, boy, we really got some weakness in the cues right here. Breaking the pre-market low here, guys. That typically is a strategy for a continuation for puts on the cues. Oh, let me see if there's any trades. Gosh, I've been talking so much. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see if you have any day trades here. Oh, he's closing. Guys, he's closing SMCI at $13. Please remember that when that trade came out, that trade was at 90 cents. He's closing that out for $13. That was a hell of a trade, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Hmm. I don't know. And so is he was a little early on well, actually he was taking calls, but uh Nvidia following suit as well. You can get into something. If you don't want to risk too much, you could get into a put debit spread as an example. Remember that the cues are definitely reacting so much stronger to the negative than SPY is. SPY's kind of has some relative strength here. We're just in the middle of our trading range, but it may just be slow and steady. So we'll see. Interesting too that we've had like positive seeing a bounce. We'll see if the pre-market low holds as resistance. This is a nice, if you miss the break, don't worry because it's not the best trade to take. It's actually after the break, price typically will come and retest the resistance, and if it holds, that's actually your better area. But you see how it's actually trying to pop through here. We got 700 ticks. Let's see if we get a change in uh, the way we do things here. Change in character for the market. I doubt it. Um, let's take a look at JEX really quick.